What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're gonna go ahead and take this boat to our repair guy. He's about an hour and a half away from where we're located at. He's gonna go ahead, we're gonna drop off the boat with him for probably about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And he's gonna get all the fiberglass and gel coat and everything all finished up, looking back beautiful. So let's go ahead and get this thing all hitched up and get this thing ready on its way. Alright guys, so we got everything all mounted and hitched. There's our tow vehicle right there. We got all of our towing stuff and whatnot all hitched up. And we're gonna go ahead and get ready to go on the road. Let's do it. Alright guys, so we just got back home. We went ahead and picked up the boat. You can't even tell this thing was repaired. I didn't want to do any recording over there at all because he had many customers coming in and out and he was kind of busy. But we went ahead and picked it up and I looked through the job. I mean, this thing looks perfect, guys. So he did a really good job and he hooked us up on the price. I think we paid $3,200 to get this thing repaired. And that is a really good deal because we were getting quotes from some people telling us 15 grand. Some people were saying like 10 grand. And he hooked us up, and I'm super happy that I found this guy. He does phenomenal work. But with that being said, let me just go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. Take a look at this. So we got back, guys, as you guys already know, and this thing looks really good. It's really dusty. We're gonna have to go ahead and do a full detail on this thing, but you guys can see this finish. It looks really good. That's just some compound. It wipes right off. But you guys can see this finish, guys. Take a look at that. Like, this whole front end was smashed. You can literally see the reflection of the rocks and everything. I am super happy with how this thing turned out, especially that this thing had literally, it was from like right here all the way down there, and it was so pliable. You could like push on it and it was moving. And you know, you got to remember the insurance company totaled out this super boat for that reason. I really love this flake effect that it's got going on. It's gonna pop even more when it's all cleaned up, but I love the flakes that this thing has. We got our tower speakers on the way. We got everything all ordered up for it. We're gonna go ahead and detail this thing up, get this thing all detailed. And there was a lot more hidden damage underneath the boat as well, guys. When he took it off the boat, off the trailer, he has these special jacks that he uses that way he can get more access to it. You know, you're not going to be painting a boat, or I guess you're not really painting it, you're gel coating it on a trailer. So he pulled it off the trailer, put it on these stands, did all the body work on it and everything else. And guys, there was hidden damage that was actually hidden underneath that. So, you know, lesson today, when you're buying stuff from the auction, sometimes there's hidden damage. Account for it. We got this boat for a great deal, so I'm not too worried about it. And he charged us a great deal as well. We'll go ahead and clean all this up. I think that's like, I don't know, dried seaweed, grass, or something on those bumper pads or whatever these are called. They come right off if you pull on them, as you guys can see. But we need to go ahead and watch this whole thing, detail the whole entire boat. And then on the next video, we're going to get our racks in there for the wakeboards and everything else. Put 4 speakers up there on the tower. I mean, it's going to be a really sick boat. Alrighty guys, so we got this boat actually behind me over here, as you guys can see, and we brought the boat inside the garage so we can go through it and make sure there's nothing else wrong with the boat. But one thing we've noticed, unfortunately guys, kind of sucks, but we got a crack in the engine. So we're gonna have to figure out what it is. I'm gonna get back in there. Hopefully it's not the block, and hopefully it's just the cylinder heads. Let me just go in there and show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's the top of the motor, guys. If you guys look on this side, there is so much room, and you got this, you know, cubbies that open up. Same with this side. I'm actually standing on this side. You can actually lay down here. Your feet will go all the way in there, and you can move those seats and have full access in there. But guys, I am literally just amazed with how much room is in this engine. So if we do have to pull it out, I mean, it's really not that hard. These bars are actually removable. There's some bolts in here that hold them together, just like as you guys can see there. And this just back panel will just have to come off. This is why I love V-Drive engines. You'll just need to remove this back deck over here, get a forklift or something with the tractor, pull the motor out. But I'm going to show you guys where this crack is on this engine. So I'm going to try to focus the camera as best as I can, and I'll show you guys exactly where it's at. Alrighty, so we are on top here. As I'm headed down below here, you can see there's the valve cover gaskets. Right on, well, yeah, right, not the valve cover gaskets, the valve covers themselves are right over here. As you go down here, it turns into the cylinder head. So there's the cylinder head, there's the valve covers. Coming through this little crack, you can see where the crack is. I'm gonna try to focus this camera as best as I can. And it's about from here to here. It's about 3 fingers, and I'd say about 1.5 inches of a crack. So it's on our cylinder head because the block down below looks really good. There's a little bit of rust there, and that's from that up here that's just dripped down there. So I'm hoping that we just have to replace our heads. Worst case, we have to replace the whole motor. And they do sell a long block assembly. After all, this is not that hard of a motor to work on. It's basically a 5.7 Vortec engine. So if you guys know anything about those, they're push rod engines, and you know, they're pretty easy to work on. I went ahead and showed you guys how there was a crack on the motor, and we actually came to a conclusion that it was actually the cylinder heads themselves, but that's all we could actually see from the outside. I'm really hoping and praying that there's no internal cracks on the block that we can't see on the inside. Once we take that valley off of the intake, it will expose all that valley over there, and we can see if the block's cracked. But with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight to the video, and let's see if we have a block that's cracked, or if we can just get away with cylinder heads. Alrighty guys, so take a look at this. We got literally everything on this thing all taken apart down the center. All the hoses are all over there on the seat over there, and we got all of this, the hoses still over here, all unclamped. Same when it goes down to the water pump. Got the distributor all wired and numbered as well, so we know which plug goes to which cap on the rotor. And we got everything done. All the injector wires are all disconnected as well. And we can just go ahead and remove the middle intake manifold plenum and pull this off and see if we have any internal cracks. Alrighty guys, so good news. Take a look at this. It's very clean. You can actually see where the head gaskets meet. There is the top of the cylinder heads. There's the block itself, and that's the head gasket that's between them. There's part of the head gasket. You can kind of see the gasket material right there, and everything looks clean. I don't see any cracks, no sludge. Everything looks normal. Same with on this side of it. Everything looks really clean and no cracks. So that is really good news, guys. what we're gonna go ahead and do, we got the intake already pulled off, as you guys saw that. We're gonna go ahead and remove everything else and pull these heads off this thing. This is a newer motor boat, so even though it's the same, 5.7 Vortec that's in the 98 trucks on up, really easy motor, basically a 350 small block Chevy motor. We're gonna have to remove these cats. These are the titaniums, catalytic converters basically, and we're gonna remove that. Pull these off the side of the heads and then pull our heads off. We'll take the valve covers off and take our head bolts off. So let's go ahead and do some more tearing. And also guys, upon inspecting the manifold, you can see those are our fuel injectors right there. They look really good. I don't see any cracks, which it shouldn't really crack in those valleys because that's just where fuel is at. But no cracks in here. These are all where the water might be going. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the valve body looks good. But yeah, everything looks good here. There's no cracks either here as well. So I think it's safe to say that we can just go ahead and pull the heads off and slap some new heads. So to remove these cats, we're gonna have to go ahead and remove them from right here. This looks like the easiest point of contact. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go all the way back there, and there's no need to take all that part because the heads end literally right there. I mean, that's all the way over there, so they won't be in our way even if that gets removed. We got a couple bolts here. This is gonna get removed. We're gonna have to remove this hose that goes here, so we'll just move that hose out of the way. Coming on this side, you can kind of see how the belt's routed. So the belt just routes around there and goes around this pulley, around that bottom crank pulley to the alternator. Very simple routing. We're going to probably just remove the bolt to the alternator. Obviously remove the belt first and remove this bracket so we can take this oil filter housing and just move it out of the way. We're not going to remove these O2 sensors. We can just disconnect them from right here. And everything else is pretty much easy. You got the manifold bolts right here, here, and here. We'll zip tie this back on when we're done. We'll have to cut the zip tie for now. And we're just going to remove this coolant temperature sensor. So pretty standard. We don't even have to remove that hose because this hose goes through the manifold and we already have it disconnected here. I have it actually stuffed in there, but it goes onto the manifold, the intake manifold. So pretty simple, guys. Let's go ahead and remove this side of the manifold and the catalytic converter, and then we'll hop onto that side, do the same thing. Then we'll take the valve covers off, take the heads off, and we should be good to go. Okay, so now we're sitting down on the boat, and as you guys can see, there is our crack. It was right behind the manifold, and I kind of scraped off a little bit of it. I'm going to zoom in on here so you guys can kind of see it. There is the crack, kind of runs along right in there, and looks like it kind of cracked there as well. So we're going to go ahead and just take this off. There's the head bolts right here along the side. We'll just have to pop off this spark plug wires, take these valve covers off, and get to our head bolts. So this side's done. We got to go remove the manifold on that side over there. It wasn't really that hard. It's actually pretty simple. Just a bunch of little stuff you got to move out of the way. We didn't even have to remove the alternator. Actually, we just swiveled it out of the way, and this would actually also make room for our heads as well. So I put tape on everything, like the bolts and stuff. That way when we put it back together, we know exactly where everything goes. We're not over here trying to figure out what bolt goes to what. We're opening up Ziploc bags. So much faster and convenient this way. So let's go ahead, take off the other side, and keep going. So guys, here's the crack on this side of the block. As you guys can see, I'm trying to get a good zoom on there. But what's weird is, you know, this is only about 1 finger away from the top of the valve cover. The heads actually sit all the way down there. A good, you know, 6 inches or about 4 or 5 inches away from it. The crack's only about 3 fingers wide, so about 1.5 inches. And going exactly right on top where the valve covers are, there's no cracks on the internal either. So I'm not sure how that happens. I don't know exactly how the water jackets run on this engine, but yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Normally they're cracked in the block or internally in the intake manifold area, or you would see it somewhere else, but nothing on this one. Alrighty guys, so take a look at this. We got everything already taken apart, and look who got off from work. George decided to stop by.
Finally.
And George is gonna go ahead and get over here. He made me do all the hard work over here on this one.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Please.
And so now he's gonna come over here and lift up these heads and be like, "Dang, we pulled heads off."
Yeah, all that hard work paid off, right?
But we got this cardboard over here, and we labeled it passenger driver, driver on that side, passenger on this side, and then labeled the firing orders on there as well. Kind of hard to see, but we had this little fine point Sharpie only, and that was pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and pull off these rocker arms and pull out these push rods and then get these heads out of here. So let's go right to it. Take a look at that. We got the heads out. There is our cylinders right over there, and on this side as well. So the biggest thing that we have to worry about is to make sure this block is still good. Obviously there's no cracks over here. There was water in here, which is probably why that had cracked, because you can see how there's water everywhere. Probably just leftover water in the cylinders. And same with your side, right? Did you have water on your side?
Oh yeah, plenty of water over here.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and what are we gonna do? Take off this head gasket and kind of inspect the block?
I think that's the next best move.
Cool. Are we gonna reuse this head gasket?
Perfect for your using.
$50 on eBay. You guys want it?
Slightly used.
All right, guys. I'm holding 2 phones here. One that's George's with the flashlight, but if you look really close inside there, you can see where the crack was internally, and there it was on the outside on this side. And same thing on this head. The outside cracked on this one was all the way down here, and if I shine a light on it, this one's a little bit harder to see, but if you look right in there, you'll kind of see the crack. Yeah, this one's a lot tougher to see the angle of it. But same thing on the other side. There it is. You can kind of see a crack right there, the rust spot. So the heads were bad indeed. The block didn't have enough water to crack the block. The block appears to be in really good shape. And everything else is good to go. All right, so we actually inspected this block a lot further. And guys, I am blessed. There's no cracks on any of the cylinder walls. No cracks, no rust. I mean, we looked inside here as well to see if there's any cracks in, like, you know, inside internally, and nothing on the block. Same with obviously here when we had the valley out, and on this side over here, no cracks at all. So everything looks good. You got some carbon deposit, but that's normal. We're gonna go ahead and actually scrape this off, clean it all up, get it all prepped, and just get it ready for the new heads. guys, so that's going to be a wrap for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed how this content is coming together on this belt. This Axes belt is just going together. Well, it's not really together, actually. It's coming apart really quickly. And we got the heads off. We got everything off. We obviously found our crack. That was our issue on there. And yes, some people were saying you could JB weld it, but the best way to do it, and so you don't have to stress about it on the lake or anything like that during the summertime, is just go get new cylinder heads. And, you know, being how blessed we were, the crack on the block, there was nothing on there. There was no cracks on anywhere else, like in the intake valley or anything else. So with that being said, guys, we're going to put this engine back together, but that's going to be on the next episode. If you guys like what you guys saw, have any tips or suggestions, or would just like to drop a comment, drop it down below, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe, guys. Until then, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.